Hey guys, Toxic Clay here. I am a big fan of the game World of Tanks. I've been playing it since it was in beta, way back before it was released. But the one thing that I've always wanted to do is play this game with a steering wheel to get the actual feeling of being in the driver's seat of a tank. Now, I know a lot of tanks didn't exactly use standard steering wheel control interfaces, but this is all I've got. And it seems pretty fun anyway. So I'd like to show you how to get your steering wheel up and running with the game World of Tanks. Currently, Wargaming doesn't support third-party controllers or basically anything other than the keyboard or mouse for control. But I'm going to show you how to fix that with a little program called Joy2Key. Joy2Key, which I will link to in the Read More section of this video's description, is a free program that allows you to emulate keyboard and mouse movements and key presses with joysticks. In our case, we're going to be using it to map a Logitech Momo Force steering wheel. Once you've downloaded the program, simply decompress the archive and launch the Joy2Key exe file. When it starts, you'll see something similar to this screenshot here. Just note that the fourth configuration, titled Wheel, is my personal profile that has already been set up. By clicking on one of the empty joystick commands, you can open the configuration panel for that button. Joy2Key allows you to emulate key presses, mouse movements, the scroll wheel, turbo button presses, and even special commands that allow you to emulate timed combinations of key presses. This screen shows you the mouse options. The horizontal bar under cursor movements controls horizontal movements of the mouse. Likewise, the vertical bar controls vertical movements of the mouse. The wheel rotation bar allows you to emulate specific amounts that the scroll wheel is being turned. Along the bottom, you can also see the commands for left mouse button, right mouse button, and the mouse 3 button, otherwise known as clicking the scroll wheel. Now, my steering wheel here is a Logitech Momo Force. This was released in the early 2000s, so chances are your steering wheel is going to be a little bit different than mine. However, I can still show you how to use Joy2Key to set up your steering wheel in an optimal configuration. For example, chances are you're going to want to set the actual steering wheel to turret left and right, so that you can use precise analog aiming movements. Likewise, if you want to aim the turret up or down, I suggest using buttons rather than paddles, because you're going to want to use the paddles for moving your tank left or right while you're driving. This is a screenshot of my current command profile. You can download this profile via a link in this video's description. Now, this is only to give you a good idea of how to use Joy2Key. Chances are your wheel's configuration is going to be different than mine, so don't try to use my profile right off the bat. Here, I've got the steering wheel axis set to emulate moving the mouse left and right. Both left and right axes need to be configured separately for this to work properly. But one of the coolest things about Joy2Key is that you can see your configuration in action as soon as you hit OK. Once I set my steering wheel axis to left and right, as soon as I hit OK, when I move the wheel left and right, the mouse moves on the screen corresponding to how far I turn the steering wheel. Make sure that for the steering wheel, the mouse movement is set to 100% on both sides though. This allows you to use the full range of motion on your wheel. Now, to prove that this software works, I'd like to show you some in-game footage of what it actually looks like when you're using a steering wheel to control your tank. So right now we've loaded up Erlenberg, and I'm sitting here in spawn waiting for the game to start, so now's where I really want to show you how the control system works. So with the steering wheel, I'm going to move the turret left and right. As you can see, it's a very nice, analog, precise movement. And one thing I want to really show you is that this is me just moving it very short movements left and right. I'm really not doing anything too drastic with the steering wheel. It has a 270-degree rotation. So this is what it looks like if I turn the steering wheel all the way. As you can see, it's a much faster spin, of course, because it is analog movement. And so now let's go forward a little bit. Up and down is controlled with 2 buttons, and I've had to do some trial and error to find out what works best for me, but 5% increments up and down is what works great for me. I'm using the left and right paddles here to steer the tank left and right. Up and down is controlled like this. So as you can see, if I hold the button down, it's slow, but it's not painfully slow. I'm sure it would be, fast or slow for certain people, depending on their game preferences here, but right now I'm just driving around, moving up and down. I have a button dedicated to go into sniper mode. And then of course I have 2 buttons set to emulate scroll wheel, so I can zoom in and out once I'm in scroll like this. Well, I can't really zoom in too far, but I can zoom out okay. And that's basically it. And of course I have 1 red button on the steering wheel, and just because I had to do it, because, as a kid it's what I've always wanted to do. I set the big red button to be the fire button, so it works just like this. Very, very satisfying when you do it. And then the brake pedal, which is set to W, also does reverse. All in all, it's actually not that bad to play with. I've actually been having a lot of fun pretending I've been a real tank driver. So right now I'm bouncing shots off this Type 58 here, but it's okay, because I'm having a lot of fun with my steering wheel. He's not really going to ruin my fun here. I don't have a great traverse speed. He's going to completely ruin me here. This is not great. The point of this game wasn't exactly to win, but yeah, we're really done now. I can do some damage, yeah, 246 damage. I'm okay with that. You've seen how the control system works, so if you're a big fan of World of Tanks, you really like playing it, and you have a steering wheel, even if it's just a novelty thing for 1 or 2 matches, I would highly recommend setting it up, trying it out. You'll probably have a lot of fun. And that's basically it. I'm Toxic Clay, thanks again for watching my tutorial, and hope to see you out in the battlegrounds.